Good evening, folks. This is Deb and Dave, and tonight we're back with the Factivist report, and we're going to call this baby Riding the Blue Wave to Victory. We're talking about candidates still because people need to know about candidates who are running to defeat MAGA.
All right. So, as we all know by now, we have both tickets in place. We have Harris and Walz, and we have Trump and Vance at the top of the tickets.
Please feel
Obviously,
free to refer to the latter as Jack and Ass.
yes, exactly. So, uh, let's just start this thing out. This is an article by Mother Jones. Look, since Walz joined the ticket and Harris is now the nominee, they've raised over $500 million. Last number I saw was 540. The campaign raised over 80 million in a very short period of time, and it was just it was a wave of money, and the DNC is using some of that money. Okay, so uh, here is some of what they're doing. This is actually from the DNC website. Uh, Grant are delivering nearly $2 million in new grants to boost down ballot candidates. Total funding to state parties now reaches over $20 million this cycle, and it's increasing by the minute. Keep it up, because every candidate needs money to advertise and to run a campaign, to hire and to pay their staffers, to keep the lights on, the whole thing. So, and we're going to talk about some of the Senate candidates that we haven't gotten to, as well as some of the people who fill in for seats that people are waiting for the elections, like a LaFonza Butler, also the governor or the lieutenant governor of Minnesota, who may take over as governor if Tim Walz, hopefully, if that ticket wins. But we're going to start with Amy Klobuchar. Now, Amy Klobuchar has been in for a while. She's an incumbent. This is just some of the stuff that she does. A lot of what I see on her page is distribution of funds that have been given out through legislation or things of that nature. Uh, there was one, Klobuchar introduces legislation to designate the bald eagle as a national bird. But this Klobuchar visits Pipestone, $2.5 million in federal funds for projects, a child care center, things of that nature. It's all infrastructure in Minnesota. And on the other side, Royce White says it's time for the Minnesota Republicans to try something new. I'm curious to what that is, because he spews a lot of nonsense too. So
you know, there's nothing new about this guy. This guy is MAGA to the core. Maybe Minnesota Republicans haven't responded to MAGA before, so maybe that's what he means now. But this guy is, I saw an article when I actually did a video on this, and I saw an article that said, how did the Minnesota Republican Party allow this guy to be the candidate for the Senate? Well, the Minnesota Republican Party endorsed this guy, first of all. And they allowed him to be the Senate candidate in the same way that the GOP handed the party over to Donald Trump. I don't know why anyone's surprised by any of this. This is the party of Trump now. You can forget, anybody sitting on the Republican side of the aisle, who's retiring, they don't care. They're leaving. Okay. Right. But the people who are sitting there who are still in office, who are still running for office, they're Donald Trump's minions now. And this is what you get for candidates.
So here's some of what we're talking about with him. Uh, Last month, Republicans, in a surprise, nominated Royce White, a former Gopher and NBA basketball player who, by the way, never hit the court, uh, who still plays in a professional 3-on-3 league. White has a controversial past, including failure to pay child support, a charge White denies, referring to women as mouthy, and at one time identifying himself as an anti Semite on social media. Also, there's questionable campaign expenditures in 2022 when he ran for Congress. Nonpartisan Campaign Legal Center filed a campaign with the Federal Election Commission alleging White misappropriated $157,000 in campaign contributions, including $1,200 at a strip club and thousands in unexplained wire transfers.
He fits the mold right there. He fits right in. He's right there. He's what you got.
Okay, so here's another one from Mother Jones. I don't know if this is the article you were talking about, but um, so this is from ba Eamon Whalen. Whatever happened to Royce White? I think this actually is it. So
No, I
his
don't think it was this one.
it
I mean,
wasn't this one.
maybe it's a
Okay,
different. Maybe they changed the title. I don't know. There
maybe.
was one that specifically said, "How did the Republicans allow this guy to be the Senate candidate?" That was the headline. I may have been in the Atlantic or something. It wasn't. It wasn't this that headline, but they do change headlines and republish, so it's possible.
So okay, I read this to Deb before, and this is like I know QAnon is dead, but this is QAnon territory. His current politics could be described as tinfoil hat populism. He believes that the Democrats, Bill Gates, the World Economic Forum, President Xi Jinping, the CCP, non MAGA Republicans, George Soros, millennial purple haired white liberal women, the Church of LGBTQ, the National Basketball Association, and various government agencies all act on behalf of the same global corporate community.
Yeah, well,
There you go. And you
that should
notice
be a disqualifier.
he was he was kicked out of the NBA basically, or he dropped out, or whatever happened to him. So he believes that the NBA is part of a worldwide conspiracy or whatever. Okay, so that is Minnesota. God have mercy.
And please, his mentor is Steve Bannon. Let's make
Right. Steve Bannon was the one who basically pushed him through.
right.
Correct. So one thing I noticed about Alyssa Slotkin is running for the Senate seat, the U.S. Senate seat in Michigan to replace Debbie Stabenow. Okay, she's running against Mike Rogers, who is a Trump acolyte and another nut. But one thing I noticed about Alyssa Slotkin is that she was a former national security official, which makes sense because a lot of what she proposes, a lot of legislation is military related. So, I'll show you the press release. Slotkin bill would ban Chinese connected vehicles from U.S. military bases. Uh, Slotkin and Sherrill asked senior leaders to reinforce limits on military's roles in domestic affairs. Slotkin introduces bipartisan legislation to address PFAS contamination in Michigan. That's like that firefighter foam stuff. Slotkin pushes to strengthen pharmaceutical supply chain with bipartisan legislation. So, Slotkin's statement on the Donald Trump rally shooting. She also does a lot of stuff with medical, like introduces legislation to research address avian flu. Slotkin introduces bill to close tax loophole for big drug companies. So that's Alyssa Slotkin in a nutshell. Mike Rogers. Trump endorses former Rep Mike Rogers in U.S. Michigan state race. Okay. Mike Mike Rogers will be a great and powerful senator for Michigan and has my complete and total endorsement. He knows how to win. Let's prove that wrong.
Yeah, really. The guy's been losing ever since he left office, and we need to keep him on the losing track. Any guy,
Michigan,
any
yeah.
guy who suggests we suspend the Constitution should not be sitting behind the presidential seal. Understand that, okay?
Also, any Republican that talks about abortion rights, they're going to they're going to talk out of both sides of their mouths, just like Donald Trump is right now.
Yeah. Donald Trump knows
Mich-
he's in trouble. He's trying to thread the needle, and it's just not working.
right.
It should not work for this guy either. You know what? Let's make it clear here. Michigan Republican in tight Senate race says he'd respect abortion rights. His record doesn't state that. But the second thing is, I want everyone to keep in mind in the back of your heads, we are talking about issues. We are talking about policies because Kamala Harris is on the road with Tim Walz talking about policies because that's what the American people need to hear. But the fact of the matter is, this election isn't about policies. This election is about saving democracy. It's as simple as that.
So, archival records of Mike Rogers' time in Congress reveal letters to constituents pledging support for an abortion ban and a candidate questionnaire where he backed a human life amendment to enact fetal personhood. So, this is all moving towards a national abortion ban.
So again, I did a video yesterday and I said that Donald Trump's word on abortion is about as reliable as gas station sushi. This guy, it's the same thing. Okay.
Right. So next we go to Delaware. All right. And this is Lisa Blunt Rochester. Now, a lot of this was when she went to the DNC convention. That's always a big thing when you're a guest speaker there. Senate campaign kickoff, meets with Black small business owners, grassroots supporters in Sussex. First look, Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester unveils plan to grow the middle class. So again, that's what people do. I tell my colleagues in Washington that Delaware is not as simple as you think. We're urban, suburban, rural, and coastal. We really mirror the rest of the country, she says. I see Sussex County as a kind of microcosm of our whole country. Blunt Rochester's affordability plan tackles everything from housing to food costs, including bolstering federal agencies to help stop grocery price gouging. This is going to be a theme.
It is.
Another element is a bipartisan farm bill that addresses crop insurance to investment in agriculture technology. And one thing that I know is that in Republican agricultural based states, this will be popular, whether it's GOP or Democrat. Next, we have this guy, Eric Hansen. Eric Hansen is not a politician, and that's a good thing. He's running as an outsider.
We need to keep him on the outside. We need to keep Delaware blue.
Right. Eric grew up mostly in Florida with a family. Well, okay.
That's good.
That's good.
I grew up in Everett with a family.
Exactly. So,
Stoneham right now with a family. I have more family that lives in Medford. So big woo. Okay.
here we go. Now I'm gonna I'm gonna read this whole thing as quick. I'm not a politician. I'm a business person and a proud political outsider. By the way, this man is a Walmart executive. Just so you know. I've spent a lot of years at Walmart, and my team and I, while I was there, saved about $25 billion for the country. Oh, they saved $25 billion for Walmart. We did this by lowering prices and by getting consensus across a lot of different folks. That's exactly what we need in DC right now. So that's why I'm running. We want to get out of DC, people working from the right and the left to get actual results. We want to fix the economy, lower prices like we did at Walmart. One of the things that he's proposing is to run the country like a business. Does that work, Deb? No, it
No,
doesn't.
no, sir, it does not. Uh, by the way, we did that by lowering prices and by getting consensus across lots of different folks. What the fuck does that mean? Can you explain? Is there a what consensus? I don't understand. It's
I
Walmart,
guess,
for Christ's sake.
yeah,
It's Walmart. All right.
across its buyers, I guess. I
I
don't
guess
know.
whatever. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Yep. That's good.
A Walmart executive wants to take the lessons learned in business to one of Delaware's seats in the United States Senate. This is Tom Carper, retired. Hansen said he spent over 15 years working in various capacities at Procter & Gamble and Walmart, including head of consumable private brands, financial services, marketing and strategy, and then digital strategy. He says government needs to act more like a private business. No, it doesn't. We've tried
Absolutely
that.
does not need to act like a private business. I am sorry. That's way out of line as far as I'm concerned. No, no, sir.
No.
Yeah, we did that once. Remember the guy? I think we remember the guy. I forget his name. Woodrow Wilson, was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, Donald Trump is saying that he's trying to do that, and he's trying to do it with the United States Postal Service, and it's failing miserably. By the way, just so you know.
Yeah, it is.
So next, we have Angela also Brooks. Okay. Now, let me see here. There we go. Also, Brooks' statements on the release of the Russian prisoners. Also, Brooks rallies with Tour to Save Democracy. Yep. People for the American Way endorses Angela also Brooks. I'm running to become Maryland's next U.S. Senator. There are no days off. Her statement on proposed Supreme Court reform. Meeting with community leaders, etc. Let me see.
This
Thought
is
I have
what
it
you
in.
do, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of what you do, right? Do you ever see anybody on the Republican side meeting with their constituents? You ever see articles about that? I don't. I don't. All I see headlines about Donald Trump's hate rallies.
Yep. I thought she was in office already, but she's not. She's not.
No, it's the what's her name? The last woman that we just did. She's a state senator, right?
Right.
Or state.
Yeah.
Legislature.
Yeah. Lisa Blunt
Lisa
Rochester.
Blunt
She
Rochester.
absolutely is. Yep. But not for nothing, even for somebody who isn't in office at the moment, this is what you do.
It is.
So, all right. So next, we have Larry Hogan. Deb, strap yourself in for those ones.
Yeah, I will.
Hogan says his job in the Senate would be to push back against his party like Manchin and Sinema.
Oh yeah, good reason not to vote for the guy.
Now,
Let me just let me
yeah,
just
yeah.
oh yeah. Okay. Let me just say something about Larry Hogan. He's running as the anti-Trump candidate,
Yep.
but he's voting for Donald Trump.
Not only that, Trump endorsed him.
All right, just remember that.
So here we go. Trump endorses former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan's Senate bid, and Larry Hogan, in turn, says he has no interest in Trump's endorsement in the Maryland Senate race. Why? Because Trump's not going to help him win. However, Larry Hogan is going to vote for him. Okay, come on already.
Now, I understand that Larry Hogan was popular as the governor, right?
Yes.
Well, we need to keep Delaware blue. The
Yep.
Senate needs to stay blue. Okay,
Yep.
that's Joe Biden's state. It needs to stay blue. Okay.
Yep. And we
I don't
well
care how
actually
popular this stiff is.
no, actually this is Maryland.
Maryland. Okay, sorry. Maryland. We need to keep it.
Yeah.
Keep it blue.
Delaware was Lisa Blunt Rochester. I'm sorry.
We need to keep that one blue too. So
Yeah. Now, and by the way, we're talking Baltimore. You know, Baltimore is always a big talking point when you talk about crime and police, you know, abuse and all of that stuff.
yeah.
So now I wanted to before we end this, I got a couple more little pieces of this puzzle. The second piece I want to talk about is when when you talk about the Democratic Party, you're talking about a pipeline of candidates and a pipeline of talent that you can tap when you need it. When you have someone who passes away, or when you have someone who gets kicked out, or when you have someone who moves on, like Tim Walz is talking about moving on. When you have someone retire, uh, I'm going to go to LaFonza Butler. I want to give her some
Before
credit
we
here.
go, can I just say something about Angela also Brooks? Because I just looked
Yeah,
at.
of course. Yeah.
Okay. So she is a lawyer and a politician. She's currently serving as the eighth and current county executive of Prince George's County, Maryland.
Okay. I thought she was in office.
Right.
Okay.
She's also the first female county executive of Prince George's County, as well as the first African American female county executive in Maryland history. She's a
Okay.
member of the Democratic Party, and she also served 2 terms as a county state's attorney from 2010 to 2018.
Okay. Okay.
She's not a
She's not just an outsider.
right. She's not a neophyte. She's got
She's an insider. She's an insider.
She is.
So, like LaFonza Butler, raised in the town of Magnolia, Mississippi, to working class parents who believed their most important responsibilities were family and service to others. Though her father passed away while she was just a teenager, her parents showed LaFonza and her 2 brothers that hard work and education would be their strongest tools to break out of poverty. As her mom became the family's primary wage earner, she found herself working multiple jobs, often all in the same day, to make sure her children had the opportunity for better choices and better chances. From caregiver to CNA, from classroom assistant to security guard, Sarah showed her children that no matter the job you have, you must work hard, do your best, and never give up. Uh, proud Senator Butler is a proud graduate of the historically Black College University, or HBCU, Jackson State University. Okay. For nearly 2 decades, she was a labor organizer and leader. At 30 years old, Senator Butler was elected president of California's largest home care and nursing home workers union, SEIU Local 2015. He helped to orchestrate raising California's minimum wage to $15 an hour and secure paid sick days for the state's home care workers. Now, is she possibly up for another position? Can she run for another office? Absolutely. Could she be appointed labor secretary? It's a possibility.
Whatever it is, her appointment. One of the caveats was that she wouldn't run for the office. So she's not going to do that. She's not doing that. That's clearly not happening. But I don't think we should lose sight of LaFonza Butler.
Now here's I always like to read the press releases because it shows how serious they are about the job. And keep in mind, she's only in here for a short time.
Right.
August 29th, Butler Padilla, as San Diego congressional delegation, calls for answers amid increased sewage odors and sewage flows from Mexico. Remember, Mexico has different standards in regards to that kind of thing. Butler, Klobuchar, Welch, Durbin colleagues urged Justice Department to protect election workers in upcoming election. Remember Georgia. Butler, Padilla, and Pelosi announced $600 million grant to bolster California's electric grid. Again, yeah, infrastructure, energy, power. Butler, Booker, Durbin, Warnock, Markey, Hirono, Padilla, Duckworth, Warren announced reintroduction of George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Uh, Butler introduces legislation to bolster federal investments in disaster preparedness. She's not just she's not just taking a seat. She's crafting legislation.
Right.
Okay. Here's another individual. If you remember, Menendez just resigned, and here's the individual that's taking over for Menendez. This is the governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, his old chief of staff. Now, this man, uh, his name is George Helmy. Okay, he served as uh, Phil Murphy's chief of staff for a number of years. And he said he's 44 years old. He doesn't want to take the seat. He doesn't want to run for the seat, but he's willing to do the job while the election goes on. Sometimes you need people like this. Sometimes you need placeholders. Now, we have someone I didn't even know about her. Peggy Flanagan, poised to become the country's first female Native American governor, Minnesota. It's a big deal.
Minnesota. Yeah, it is.
Someone told her, "Oh, I didn't know you were a Native American. I thought all you guys were dead."
Nice.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So
tried that, but it didn't work. But, let me just say this. No one ever talks about Native Americans being part of representative government. We barely
no,
talk about their history, okay? We talk about every other put upon group, but no one ever mentions Native Americans. Why is that? Why? I
guilt,
just
shame.
maybe. I mean, come on. We know a lot of people have been done wrong here. Okay, those people, they were done real serious wrong. Okay, we
Right.
stole their land, we killed their people. You know, we gave them smallpox blankets, and then we took their children and put them in American schools so we could beat the
Indoctrinate them.
Native
Yeah.
American culture out of them. So when we talk about that being a big deal, it's a big deal because guess what? There are Native Americans living on little plots of land in the United States, as if that's good enough. Okay. So let's get real here.
Just
One
just a quick,
Republican, one
yeah.
Republican said that we already paid reparations to the Native Americans by giving them land to live on. Are you shitting me?
Too often elected leaders don't know we exist, Flanagan said in an interview with Politico. She recounted a colleague's reaction to her retirement speech from the Minnesota House of Representatives in 2018. "I didn't know you were Native American," said the member. "I thought you were all dead." So, okay, so I'm just saying, she is a member. Let's see here. Um, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. She's 44-year-old enrolled member of the White Earth Band of Oy Oyibe. Oyibe?
Ojibwe.
Oyibe?
Yep.
which also has Irish roots, those Native Americans still face unusual barriers to recognition and respect. So this is one way to get it. And this is representative government, you know.
That would be a
And by
good
the
thing.
way,
That would be a really great thing. So, there's another reason to help see that the Harris Waltz ticket wins.
yep. And not only will she represent Native Americans, she will represent females, obviously, and minorities,
Right.
because one of the most abused minorities in the history of this country is the Native Americans,
Americans.
no doubt. So there's a couple more things. Again, take a look at at the Senate um, chart. I don't know if we hit everybody. I tried to get as many as we could. And if you are so inclined, I listened to about 15 minutes of this so far. This is Jennifer Rubin's Green Room. She talked about how Harris and Walz will win. She talks about Harris joining the ticket, her picking Walz, how great of a move that was, that he was a very solid pick. The fact that if Shapiro was picked, the fact that he was pro-Israel didn't really factor into anything.
Right.
Blah 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 blah. But if you're interested, this this is perfect.
I've
And
said I've said this before. She is the one reason I keep my subscription to the Washington Post,
right,
because Jennifer Rubin is also a former Republican. So these are people who are aware of just how dysfunctional the Republican Party is. So when they talk, I listen, and I really like Jennifer Rubin. I like her writing, and I like her take on stuff.
now, honestly, I no longer subscribe to the New York Times, and then I no longer subscribe to the Washington Post. So I used alternate methods to discuss Jennifer Rubin. One of the things I wanted to show was her page, because she changed her screen name. Jennifer, we aren't going back, Rubin.
Right.
She's a former Republican.
Right.
Okay, guys, there are a ton of Republicans who
Another
are
another great group to pay attention to is the Bulwark. Really good.
the
All
Bulwark, the
conservative.
Lincoln Project,
The Lincoln Project.
Republicans for Harris Waltz.
Right.
I mean, you know, I mean, I have never, a Republican group backing the Democrat.
I haven't either. This is a first. I'm 70. This is a first. Okay. And I think it's great, honestly. And listen, I'm smart here. I get it. They're not becoming Democrats. So no one should assume that. Okay. And I really do think we need a two-party system here, a healthy two-party system. Right now, we don't have a healthy two-party system. We don't have a healthy democracy because one side of the coin can't legislate. They don't legislate. They don't discuss issues. They just do whatever Donald Trump tells them to do. So we need a two-party system, and we will go back to arguing policies because, quite frankly, I'm glad Adam Kinzinger is doing what he's doing, but I don't agree with Adam Kinzinger in just about everything.
Or Liz Cheney.
Oh, Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
Liz Cheney voted with Donald Trump 93% of the time before the insurrection. Okay. Their objection is to the fact that he's trying to destroy democracy. Okay. They don't agree with Harris's policies. So we should just understand that as we move forward.
I want to say one thing.
I agree.
One thing. I want to say one thing to people who have said on social media, and I've seen it. Liz Cheney should run as a Democrat.
That ain't ever happening.
It's never going to happen.
It's not happening.
It's never going to happen. And take a look at her policies.
Yeah.
Take a look at her policies.
People were telling me that that Kamala Harris should have picked Liz Cheney as the VP. I'm going, that is never happening. That is never going to happen. Liz Cheney threw her own sister under the bus when she came out of the closet. So please, okay? Now,
And
her position may have moderated on LGBTQ people.
right.
But the point is that there are very few things that Liz Cheney believes in that I believe in. Very few things.
Can I just I'm gonna take a path down a dirt road for just a minute.
As you
Another thing
always do.
as I always do, because I keep on seeing it over and over again. People elevating elevating Jill Stein.
Stop it.
No, stop it. Stop it.
Jill Stein's an opportunist.
Jill Stein is not a serious candidate.
No, she's not.
Deb and I both completely left the Green Party back in, what was it, 2018, 2019? I think it was 2019, when Jill Stein and David Cobb allowed anti-LGBTQ plus and IA plus elements into the Green Party. Oh, everybody has to have a voice. No, they don't. No, they don't. And that was it for us. Okay. We have a real opportunity. I mean, Deb mentioned to me that Jim Jordan looks like he might be on the ropes.
He's
Tammy
tied.
Wilson is
He's
actually
tied with Tammy
they're
Wilson.
tied.
Keep going. Look, Kamala Harris is energizing the ticket top to bottom, and we have to make sure that we show up and vote down ballot top to bottom. It's as simple as that. This is a chance. We have Hawley. We have, all of these guys, Rick Scott in Florida only won by a few percentage points his last time around. He can be beaten.
Let's see. Jackie Rosen gaining ground. John Tester gaining ground. Sherrod Brown gaining ground. Not Lisa Blunt Rochester. Debbie Merkelsel Powell gaining ground. All of these people are gaining ground.
And now
why
in Texas, by the way,
Dallin Allred.
Yep. Allred is now 2 percentage points behind shitbag there.
One thing I do want to look into. I'm not going to do it next week, but maybe in a couple of weeks. There are a lot of state races in which Democrats have switched to Republican. I want to know what the circumstance is and why they are doing what they're doing, and how many of these people are simply, imposters, and how many of them are doing it for whatever reason, for survival or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, you mentioned to me that one guy did it because he lost this primary as a Democrat.
Yep.
Come on, people.
That was a young lady. I can't remember which state, but
you have to really want
California,
power.
I think it was. It was California, I think.
You have to really want power to leave a party like the Democrats to move over to the slime ball party of the century. Okay.
And that's basically what the Democrats said. Good for her. Welcome. Now you've shown your true colors.
Exactly.
Good luck to you. Goodbye.
Yep.
And for Larry Hogan, for these guys are positioning themselves. The gentleman who was running against Lisa Blunt Rochester, they're positioning themselves as outside of the Republican Party, but still Republicans. Right.
Look, I can't take anybody serious who turns down an endorsement, says he's running as an anti-Trump candidate, but is voting for the poison that is Donald Trump. Okay. I'm sorry. Larry Hogan may be popular. Maybe he should just get a TV show. I don't know, but he should not be senator. Okay.
Right. Angela also Brooks is very, very popular. She is. And she right now, we don't really pay, well, we pay attention to general trends. Let's put it that way. I'm not, oh my God, last week she was 3.5%. Now she's 3.3%. I don't care about that. I don't. And I know the numbers are bouncing back and forth. I really do think that we are gaining ground and there is definite momentum, and we need to take advantage of this momentum as much as humanly possible. And we need to win every single Senate seat that we can and flip the House as well. Deb, you know, Deb believes that the House could be a bloodbath, and
I do.
we could just like I see a couple of House races in New York possibly flipping over to Republican, but there are that many more that are flipping to the Democrats.
If they
Now,
flip to Republican,
there's a reason.
yeah, I'm sure.
There's a reason.
I'm sure there
It's
is.
Israel. It's the Israel Hamas thing.
It's, and again, that has nothing to do with this election. Okay.
Right.
Nothing. You know, nothing that's going on over there is anything that we can control. We just had Hamas came out today. The Hamas leader came out today
Right.
and said that there's no chance for a two-state solution. Folks, guess what? This war has been going on forever, and I understand it needs to end, but I don't understand why you would make that the central issue in this election when we have our own democracy on the fucking line. All right. If we go down, we help nobody. There are countries, leaders out there who are saying they hope the American people can rise to the occasion. They know the stakes. The people in this country had better learn the stakes fast, because we're in the last 2 month slog of this election.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Israel, the focal point of this election, is nonsense.
Now there's two races. I mentioned Latimer before. Latimer defeated Jamal Bowman. He could lose. Okay. He could
To a
lose
Republican. Okay.
to a Republican. Okay. Mondaire Jones, embroiled in the same stuff, embroiled in the same AIPAC stuff. He could lose to a Republican, because Republicans are more pro-Israel than Democrats typically. However,
anytime you think that's worth it, I don't know if you really understand what's going on. It just reaffirms my fear that there are plenty of people that are Democrats that don't get it.
Right. However, we have seats, Anna Paulina Luna, Jim Jordan. We have seats that we can win back.
Right.
So just because, and California's another one that has the Israel Hamas thing, stop it. We have bread and butter issues and union issues and human rights issues and infrastructure issues and economic issues that the Republicans are never going to fix. Never.
We have democracy issues, because I can tell you right now, under authoritarian rule, we're not going to be worried about policy. We're going to be scrambling for our lives. Get a clue. Look at. I read a bunch of people on who write on Substack that are people who are years-long specialists in democracy and authoritarian rule. And they are telling you this election is not about issues. It is not about issues. It's about saving this democracy, because if the Republicans win, they will institute authoritarian rule. It's right in your face.
Listen to the Democrats, listen to the Republicans. The Democrats are talking about anti-price gouging laws and, fixing the economy, housing, groceries, all of that stuff, and infrastructure. What are the Republicans talking about? The 2020 election.
Right.
Okay. They're talking about the 2020 election.
Again, and immigrants. And
immigrants.
Again, they had a chance to fix all that, and they decided that they'd listen to Donald Trump and kill that bill so that he'd have something to point to as he ran a losing race. He has absolutely nothing to run on.
And by the way, attacking candidates, that's fine. By the way, Deb and I always said when he was a child, Barron Trump was off limits. I understand Gus Waltz is a little older, but he's off limits.
He's 17.
Stop bashing him. He's a kid. He's 17 years old and
17
he's
years old.
nonverbal. For God's sake. You
Well, the
know,
Republicans have no shame. They don't.
no, they don't.
They will do anything to win. Anything. They will disparage who they have to disparage. They will lie about who they have to lie about. You know,
Right.
they will make shit up out of whole cloth because they want power. And that's really the only reason they're running. They're not running to govern this country. They're running for power.
Right.
Okay.
By the
Donald Trump
way,
actually is running to stay out of jail too. That's another factor in Donald Trump's
I'll
campaign.
I'll find out who the Democrat is running against Lauren Boebert because she's not a shoe-in, but the other one is Sean Harris. We've talked about it before. Sean Harris is running against Marjorie Taylor Greene. Just given the fact that he's in the area that he's in, he's a bit of a dark horse. We know that. We know he's African American. We know he's an older gentleman with a military history, blah, blah, blah. Guys, you have a chance to at least push the needle here.
Yeah,
You
because
know, Eric Flower or Marcus Flowers, sorry, Marcus Flowers didn't lose by that much.
you
He
know,
really didn't.
let me just say this. Anybody who can point to any legislation at all that Marjorie Taylor Greene has proposed or co-sponsored
Right,
that isn't shit like making English the primary language,
right, right,
right?
right.
Anything that she may have sponsored that actually helps the people that live in her district. I would like to know about that because I've looked at her legislation on a national level and it's a joke. Go look at her record. Go look at the bills she's filing and the bills she's supporting.
Didn't she? I mean, I'm pretty sure. You know what? Maybe you want to take a look at it? We got time. But I thought that she proposed a bill. I could be wrong. I thought she proposed a bill banning hijabs in her.
Maybe. I mean, her legislation is nonsense. There is nothing that aids anybody in Georgia.
Right.
Nothing that helps her. The people who voted her in, they're doing. You understand. You're voting for someone who does absolutely nothing for you. And I have to believe there are some real needs in the state of Georgia.
Oh, there absolutely is. By the way, one other thing, in a state like that, oh, Deb. All right. What the hell? Why
Can I have
not?
time to make popcorn? No, I'm only kidding.
Oh. I'm not putting this in the sources, but good Lord. All right. Hold on.
She's a clown. Okay.
Let's go Gwen Waltz. Let's get all Gwen Waltz and Tim Walz. Hold on. I gotta share screen again. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's report card. Okay. Co-sponsored the fewest bills compared to the Georgia delegation. Let me see. Okay. So, all right. Green introduced 0 bills that became law, much like Ron DeSantis,
Right.
via incorporation into other measures in the 117th Congress. Keep in mind, it takes a law to repeal a law. Very few bills ever become a law. Who cares? Here are two of Green's bills and resolutions in the 117th Congress had a co-sponsor who was a chair or a ranking member. So let's just look at these 2 bills. What the hell? The Second Amendment, okay. All right.
Oh my God.
Although this bill was not enacted, its provisions could have become law by being included in another bill. So there you go. All right. So there's that one. What's the other one? Protecting mothers and babies from, you want to know what?
Terrorism.
From jackasses. All right. Hold on. From
Marjorie Taylor
Terrorism
Greene
Act.
singles out two groups, Ruth Sent Us and Jane's Revenge, which she apparently hates just as much as she loves the two groups, Anglos and Saxons.
Oh, Jesus God. Okay.
She must have been protecting mothers and babies against the backlash from the overturn of Roe, which there was none. So really, she's such a waste of space. It's amazing. I mean, people are paying her salary, okay, to sit around
Right.
and go in front of all of these oversight committees. And honestly, she's a buffoon. She has been corrected, called out, called a liar because she makes shit up, and her legislation amounts to just about nothing. Okay,
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
here we go.
Protect Children's Innocence Act. I gotta know, Deb. I gotta know. I'm sorry. I gotta
It's
know.
got to be something about
Transgender, whatever bullshit.
yeah.
Uh, all right. I have to. Yeah, yeah. I have to read the text.
No.
Oh crap.
You hit the wrong button.
Uh, no, I don't want the free templates act. Read text. There we go. Okay. To prevent, yep, gender affirming care. Prohibit gender affirming care in Georgia. There you go. I
In other
figured that's
words,
what it was. I really did.
let me insinuate myself into your personal life. That's what
Right.
that
Exactly. Exactly.
find your
So
bitch.
there's
Bitch.
okay. So there's that. Protecting Mothers and Babies from Terrorism Act, which we
Let me see.
21st Century Free Speech Act. Justice, oh Jesus Christ, Justice for Victims Act of
Just read the
2022.
titles. Come on.
Stopping the
House Congressional Gold Medal Act.
wait, what?
Yeah,
What? Hold on. Stopping the spread of taxpayer funded blow weapons act of 20
bioweapons.
oh
Bioweapons.
bioweapons. I was like, blow weapons. What the fuck is a blow? All right, bioweapon. The
Yeah,
Kyle
that's just
Rittenhouse
something. Yeah.
Congressional Gold Medal Act. Brian Terry Memorial Eliminate the ATF Act. Oh, Jesus God.
Impeaching Joseph Biden. I mean, come on. Request the president directing the Secretary of Defense and Secretary of State to transmit, respectively, certain documents of the House of Representatives relating to congressional appropriated funds. Come on. I mean, this woman is just amazing.
Yeah, impeach Biden, impeach Merrick Garland, award 3 gold medals to the law enforcement officers and those who protected American cities during BLM riots.
But let's beat the shit out of officers who protected the Capitol against her friends.
The no filming of me while I have a pipe bomb in my hand. I didn't say that, but I mean, not for nothing. People, that's a giant conspiracy theory. Nobody knows who's in that hoodie. Nobody knows that. Don't even start that. But
No, and don't start with the showing her feet either. Okay,
okay.
that's another thing. The Fire Fauci Act. We will not comply act.
Oh, Jesus God.
You
The
know,
Congressional Voting Accountability. Oh, Deb, when you say Voting Accountability Act, all right. When you say Marjorie Taylor Greene and accountability in the same sentence, I got to know what the hell this is. Uh, let's see.
prohibit of remote voting.
Proxy voting, yeah. Remote voting. Yep. Yeah, go. Oh, screw.
Go away. Unbelievable.
uh,
This is what you're paying for.
Gun Owner Privacy Act. So I can carry a gun Nobody knows about it, and they'll blow your head off. You didn't know about
Expel
it.
Maxine Waters' resolution for incitement of violence and rioting against the United States, as
Uh,
opposed to as opposed to a party that has actually done that.
remove Maxine Waters. And by the way, this is back from years ago. You know,
I know it doesn't matter. This is what she spends her
yeah.
time doing.
Uh, honoring Michael D'Angelo Garrigan for his service and devotion to his community.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Impeaching, she wants to impeach Joe Biden like 5 times.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Just again, just for shits and giggles, I want to know who this is. Michael D'Angelo. I just want to know if he shot anybody while protecting a building. This is what we do, folks.
No, this is
Jesus.
he's got another name. There was another name after that. There was
After that,
yeah, the Michael D'Angelo something something. Go back to the
all right,
bill.
all right. Where are you? Oh,
Garrigan.
Garrigan. Garrigan. Okay.
Garrigan.
I swear to God, I thought it was him. I mean, just to look at it of him. All right, hold on. Okay. Oh, was he killed?
He had COVID,
Oh, he died from COVID. Okay.
but they don't believe in COVID.
They must think that he died from a freaking vaccine or something.
Oh, that's why she did it. Because yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly why she would do that. That's exactly why she would do
Yep.
that. Yep.
Yep.
The
Oh, and
vaccine killed
yeah,
him. Wasn't COVID.
Gordon's County Sheriff's Office in Georgia. There you go. So,
When did he get COVID?
uh,
Was it before vaccines? May have been.
early 2020. So it was.
Yeah.
It was before the vaccine.
Yep.
So for her to say anything, what are you going to say about that? He couldn't. He didn't even have a chance to get a vaccine.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm surprised. It wasn't like the Wuhan flu act and all that kind of crap.
Oh,
But guys, that's what you're dealing with. This is what you're dealing with.
this is your
With
Republican Party, folks. Okay.
uh,
All right, gang. That's where we are. Did we do? We did the guy in California, right? The rep.
oh, we didn't do Adam Schiff. We didn't do Adam Schiff.
Okay, well, we'll do Adam Schiff. We'll do him next week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll catch Adam Schiff. I know I did LaFonza Butler, but he is running for
For that
office
seat.
for that seat.
Well, we got other
He's
people we need to talk about anyway, so
yeah,
we'll get him
he's
in.
presumed to win to be safe, but vote for him anyway.
Yep, you need to
Uh
vote. It doesn't matter.
and
All these people are presumed to be shoo-ins in some cases, safe in some cases, but not if you don't vote. That's
right.
if you vote.
And by the way, don't pull that again. I always say it. You know, I try to stay extremely focused during the primaries, but whoever wins the primary, that's who we got to go for.
That's right.
That's who we got to go with.
Correct.
So
Democrats
if
up and
you
down the ballot.
if you like Katie Porter, then maybe she'll get a position somewhere else. But
She might
Schiff
end up
is
in Harris's cabinet.
she may she may end up running again for another
Yeah,
House
she
seat.
may end up running again. Yeah, she may. Her career's not over. She's not going
And
anywhere.
and by the way, she may run for governor. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Right.
I know that right now, she is going back to her professor duties, uh, for now, but who knows?
Right.
She is an incredible resource,
She is.
so I wouldn't count her out. Um, but you know what? Nah, because we could still do this shift. I want to get into some of the house races. I'll talk about Schiff, and we haven't talked about Elizabeth Warren yet. You know, uh, Adam Schiff and Steve Garvey.
Yep.
Listen, I don't care how good of a baseball player Steve Garvey is. You know, it's kind of like what's his name from who was it from the who was that John Stockton.
Right.
John Stockton, great basketball player, cruddy, cruddy choice in politics.
Yep. Yep.
Just like, just because you're a sports guy doesn't mean that you know what you're talking about. And I just saw that, Terry Bradshaw announces that he switched parties.
So
Okay, who cares? He's an ex-football player. You get a lot of those guys, by the way. Be very, very careful when you see some. Colin Allred was a football player, but he was also in the U.S. House.
right.
Okay. Herschel Walker
Not so
was a
much.
football player. Not so much. Okay. Steve Garvey, when you take a look at his page, it's baseball. He's not talking about anything else. I'm just, you know, just letting you know. Just because a you're a prominent figure in the entertainment business doesn't mean
I'm in my stream. Call me back. Bye.
we're almost done. Oh, it
Children.
doesn't.
What the fuck is it with the children? They know when I'm on my stream. Well, she should know when I'm on my stream, but see,
Deb,
they never go away.
do not shame them, Deb. They're
Oh,
just saying hello. They're very enthusiastic about your work, Deb. I had to. I'm sorry, but I I'm really stuck on that too. The sheer intolerance for human life and for any kind of failings or any kind of weakness or any kind of illness or any kind of anything is frowned upon, you know. And by the way, by people like J.D. Vance, tell me how perfect he is.
oh my God. The guy he can't even carry on a conversation with another human being. He has no ability. All right. If you watched him walk into that, what was a bakery?
Bakery, yeah.
He walked into the bakery and he asked somebody how long they've been working there. And then he goes, okay, okay. Don't engage in any kind of conversation and ask him, oh, how many jobs do you have to work to make ends meet? What else do you do? What are the issues that you face? Don't do any of that. Okay. Right? Don't do any
Oh,
of
I'd
that.
like a bagel and a schmear. It's like, okay. He literally walked into a place of business and said, "Hello, my name is JD Vance. I'm running for vice president of the United States." And they're like, "Yeah, and what do you want?" It's like
Keep in mind that this guy has served two
two
years as
years.
a senator.
Yeah,
All right. And I understand, please, that Barack Obama did the same thing, but J.D. Vance is not Barack Obama. Okay. Under any stretch of the imagination.
Barack Obama was vetted. I actually personally do believe that he came out too early, but it was his time. Um,
Was
his issue was that he was too naive, and he felt like uh,
and he
there
could
would be
work with the
no problem.
Republicans.
Yeah, there would be no problem working bipartisanly.
Right. And Joe Biden said, the only fault he found with Obama was he was too easy on the Republican Party when he was Obama's
Right,
vice president.
right,
So should you be able to work with Republicans? You absolutely should. You absolutely should.
right.
But not with this group of Republicans. You can't.
I truly, honestly do believe, maybe not in this election, but I do believe that there is going to be a movement towards the middle from both parties. You saw it a little bit with the Democratic Party, with the two DSA candidates losing in the primaries, Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman, because, like it or not, they were considered fringe by some people, and also they were pushed out by AIPAC money. Okay. But at the same
But
time,
I'm not convinced if this war was going on that either of them would have lost. I'm not
right,
convinced. I'm
right.
really not.
I'm convinced that Bowman would have lost because of the redistricting, because I know I know how he was districted out of his area. He would have lost to Latimer no matter what, I think, but they spent an ungodly amount of money on that, the most in a primary ever,
Right.
just to ensure it.
So just so you understand, no, the progressive movement in the Democratic Party is not going away. It
It's
is
not
not.
going away.
There is ebb and flow in
Yeah,
anything that you do in politics. Okay.
right.
Right. So we stand to make a lot of gains in this election. All right. I am not convinced that Cori Bush would have lost had that.
I actually don't think so. I think she would have survived it. Yeah.
I do too. And I will tell you that Ilhan Omar won. All right. And I can tell you that AIPAC money was not put in her district at all. And perhaps the reason it wasn't is because there's a lot of Muslims in that area of her state. So
No,
I don't know why they chose not to
there
go
was
after
there
her.
was also there was also talk of APAC donating to her Republican counterpart.
Right.
So don't think she's out of the woods yet. But should she win? Yes, she should win. Is the squad going away? They're not going away.
They're not,
Those two races were targeted races by APAC specifically to get rid of those two particular candidates. And if you think that those two particular candidates are going away forever, don't be so sure.
I don't think they are either. So
We'll
we'll
see.
see what happens. Right now, we just need to go with the flow. Okay. Would I prefer uh, Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush? I would, but I'm going to tell you this right now. You need to vote for whoever the Democrat is.
Yeah.
Because, again, the only issue in this race is democracy. And there's only one party interested in preserving it, and that's the Democratic Party. The Republican Party is anti-democratic to the core.
If George Latimer wins, who by the way he's 70 years old, if George Latimer wins and if Wesley Bell wins, we will be watching them very closely and seeing what they do and seeing if they deserve a nod from us in 2 years.
And
My guess is probably not, but
we
we'll
will
see.
see. We will
We'll
see
see.
if the progressive wing of the Democratic Party finds some candidates to run against them. We'll
Right.
see how that goes.
Right. And who knows? It might even be Jamal might actually vote in it or run in another district against another very pro-Israel guy. So we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens. But in the meantime, you know, uh, take a look at the Republican Party. They are trying to distance themselves from Trump. Some of them, not many of them, but some of them are. But at the same time, they're in a bind because they're like, well, you know, they're looking for his endorsement, but at the same time, they don't want it.
You know, let's look at it this way. They can
Like
try.
Larry Hogan.
It's like Trump trying to distance himself from Project 2025.
You there?
No distancing yourself from the Republican Party. If you're choosing to run as a Republican,
Exactly.
you're a Republican. And right now, Republican is a dirty word. I don't care what you say. It is.
Yep.
It's the F word magnified. Okay.
Right.
So
MAGA is a bad word.
Yep, it is. And MAGA permeates the party. They own the party now. No matter who is running, no matter Larry Hogan, MAGA owns the Republican Party. Okay. He's choosing to run as a Republican and he's voting for Donald Trump on a personal level. So we can stop that nonsense now.
Yep.
All right, gang, we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.